Hi guys and welcome to Trustzone.com. This is Mohit Soni, and you can imagine by the smile on my face, and of course you can't see the smile on my face, but you can hear the chuckle because we are really excited to be driving the Volvo XC40 Recharge after a really long wait. It's been promised to come to the Indian market since last October, but of course a lot of delays due to the pandemic and every other thing related to the current scenario has delayed it. It's finally here, but we still don't have the price for the car. It's been not launched yet because prices are still expected to be released in July or June. But we have spent a good amount of time with the car and we are really impressed. Like I told you, I am all smiles and giggles because this is one of the best electric cars we've driven in a very long time, and one of the reasons why we are really excited is because the package also falls in perfectly well, because the XC40 always has been our choice when it comes to getting the luxury compact SUV. We of course have driven other rivals as well, but the XC40 always has been our first recommendation. If for some reason you can't buy it, then you can go with the German rivals, because the XC40 just feels very special, and with this electric powertrain things have just gone better. So let's discuss the change, what is on offer over the petrol variants. Of course the diesel is now gone entirely, and so this is the second fuel that is Volvo is providing, which is not really a fuel, it's electric. And what you can see with the design changes, as always, let's begin with that. The grille has been covered. It was as you can see, there is a bit of a hint of what was there earlier. Bumpers pretty much remain the same apart from the fog lamp housing, I think, which has changed a bit. I can't remember the petrol, how was it like, which was almost 2 years ago that I drove. And that's the side profile. It gets bigger, better looking 19-inch alloy wheels over the petrol version, which had 17 or 18-inch wheels. They fill in the gaps really well. It almost looks like it's a sedan or a hatchback on stilts. And the XC40's compact design has inspired many vehicles around the world, and it's become a benchmark in how to do a compact SUV because the design is just right. You know which vehicle I'm talking about. And at the back you get typical Volvo lamps. This is the no B's, just recharge trains here as a badge written. That is the boot, which is going to be a bit of a sore because that's the space saver. There is some space below this which are just sort of stubby holes, and this is how your charger is going to look like. This is the 11 kilowatt charger, and the boot is going to be occupied in this way. As always, we've got electric power tailgate, which is a segment feature first. Parking sensors front and rear with camera 360 degree as well. Getting at the back using conventional grab handles. I'll just give you an idea because that's how it was in the petrol, but giving you an idea again, the kind of knee room you get is fantastic. Good legroom is on offer. Under thigh support is poor. Headroom is also quite good with the massive panoramic sunroof on offer, which I'll open once I get ahead. AC vents, charging points, speakers, which look great, and inner lining for the door pads, which is always welcome. Volvo hasn't skipped much when it comes to the appeal that we've seen in the XC90 and XC60. It's seen here with a bit of a budget oriented materials, but it's there. So it's very nice to see that Volvo truly cares about its perception about quality for all of its customers, be it getting the XC40 or the XC90. And again, you can see the seats also have this sort of suede effect with leather. Contrast stitching is on offer. I'll show you what is at the front as well. But before that, I'll get back into the back to show you what I forgot. Is this armrest with cup holders mounted really well. Seat belts for all 3 passengers. Of course, this is a Volvo, high on safety, and adjustable headrest as well for the middle passenger as well. You've got ISOFIX there, right there. Now let's jump to the front. You can see that's how the interior looks like. It looks very similar to what the XC40 petrol was. Electric power seats with memory function. So that is the interior. I had to cut to the fact while I was entering the cabin is because this car doesn't have a start-stop button. So it senses when you're getting inside the car, it will start the AC, start the radio, and start everything. So I had to disconnect because the music came in, or else Daft Punk would sue us for using their music in this YouTube video. But nevertheless, this is what the screen is like. We've shown you that some time back, but we've driven the XC60. We've not put a review out yet, and this is our second time with the Google infotainment system. We are really impressed because we are Android fans and we love what Volvo has done here. It feels very nice to see similar buttons that are on your mobile phone all the time here as well. The of course talking part is all the settings that are on offer. As you can see, you've got one pedal drive, sorry, and what that does is basically offer you regen, but it's a very strong regen, which I will explain you while I'm driving. And basically I'll just do it right away. It's just a one-step regen, so there is no way you can control it, and it will directly come to a halt. It's like somebody is slowly pressing the brakes for you, and it will come to a halt directly. Usually, even with regen, even in the most highest mode, the car still sort of creeps at 1, 2, 3 kilometers an hour. This will come to a halt directly. So that is what you need to be aware of. You will be able to drive in this situation from time to time, but at most times you will not like this, so you will come to this option and switch it off. In terms of other infotainment systems, you get a steering assist for the pilot assist system, and lane keeping ahead aid is on offer. So along with the road sign information, ready to drive notification, which is very critical in this car because it's electric and it doesn't have start stop button on offer. So I think that's the reason why we see that in the XC60 and XC90 as well. So that's the charge limit that is on offer. You can see all the charging related information here. That's the sound, which is as always brilliant. It's an armor carbon system. It works really well, and it's got its own the way things work, so which is good. You've got this connectivity features, you've got applications that you can change the settings for basically, and this is what is on offer with the controls. That's the Google part. You can start the Google Assistant as well, and yeah, it's a nice system. It works really well. It's the refresh rate is nice. The screen has become a little smaller, and there were certain features that were available in the previous car which are in the petrol version, which are not seen here. Volvo has done that throughout the range to make things simpler and easier, but lack of ambient lighting, something like that is missing in this car, because everything else feels very good in this car. The quality of the dashboard, the trim here looks amazing. This dial feels very nice to deal with, and of course this is a ride-by-wire gearbox, so you will have to, it doesn't go in one shift. You will have to go like cut, as you can imagine, and for P you will have to press the button, which is always a very welcome move. You've got your own trash can here. You can empty on a daily basis. As you can see, it's a smartly done unit, comes out very nicely. So nothing really bothers the cabin in terms of odor, and yeah, one flick like this and the entire sunroof opens up, which is great. You've got the touch buttons which on off the light here, which is brilliant. I will show you the car in the night once this video reaches its next stage. AC vents as always work really well. I told you the sound system is good by Harman Kardon, and there is a subwoofer on offer. You've got the usual stocks that control everything. You have cruise control, and that's how you see the settings here. That's how it looks like. Yeah, that's about it. You've got sporty pedals on offer as well. Told you about the memory seats. Very good interior, one of the best plush interiors in this segment by a huge margin. Everybody else does cost cutting, Volvo does not. Of course, I told you there are some features missing, but the perceived quality, whatever you touch, feel, is downright brilliant. A glove box, illuminated and chilled, so which is great. It's quite a good sized as well. I think that's what the interior is all about. I've shown you what is on offer. You've got height adjustable seat belts as well. And now let's jump to the drive. So what is the Volvo XC40 Recharge like to drive? Well, I'll quickly jump to the fact that this thing has two motors on both front and rear axle, not on the wheel, so that gives it all-wheel drive. And what that does is it's a 75 kilowatt battery which has 400 pieces of power and 660 Newton meters of torque, going through a single speed gearbox. What that means is whenever you fully depress the accelerator, you are going to be shoved back into the seat no matter how heavy you are, because this thing has a lot of pulling power right from the word go. It almost feels like a sports car level, in the way it drives and in the way it accelerates. At least accelerate, not to drive, because there's just so much pulling power from the word. It just goes, it does 0 to 100 in around 5.5 seconds, which is very fast. And that number reminds me of the KTM Duke 390 for some reason, because it does 0 to 100 in exactly the same time. But both of them feel equally accelerating, because I know that, because that's my bike. And this also feels really, really amazing, because all the four wheels go through the traction process and push you ahead, and the acceleration just will always take your breath away. And if you have that one pedal driving mode, then it will come to a halt on its own as well, slowly and steadily. You don't need to press the brakes. Of course, you need to look at the back if somebody is following you or not, because it is going to brake on its own. And again, those numbers are fantastic. Performance is absolutely stellar. This is the best driving EV we've driven in a very long time. Of course, there have been only a few in the country right now, but this definitely feels the most wildest and the most fun of the lot, because it's got such a small dimension and it's got so much power and torque, and it does 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds, which is supercar territory from 2 decades ago. So that's fantastic. The steering wheel doesn't have great feedback, but it has good firm feel to it. It is precise, so it will do whatever you ask it to do, and you can feel that to a certain extent, not by a huge margin, so feedback could have been better. Brakes obviously are really, really good. It will do the braking for you, or you do it on yourself. It's up to you choosing that setting. And what we can also tell you is there is a good amount of body roll, and despite the 19-inch wheels, and but of course it's well in check. It feels safe, and even if you're really pushing it on a track or on a very tight ghat section of the road, it still feels secure, confident, but it doesn't feel pinpoint precise. And body roll still exists by a good margin, not by a small margin. So it won't let you have that 100% level of fun. It will let you have 80% of the fun from the chassis, because that's how it's tuned. And tires, they grip really well. I told you about the steering, I told you about the powertrain, I told you about the brakes. Overall, when it comes to the NVH now, I feel immediately that there is a lot of tire noise inside the cabin than expected. Of course, all the four wheel wells I checked are really well padded, but this thing still has some road noise coming inside. So I'm assuming Volvo did a very good job of suppressing most of it, but still there is a good amount of road noise coming inside the cabin. You can't help that in our situations. You have to give this level of powertrain, 19-inch wheels, and on our roads, on even in fact on any road around the world, you will have to deal with a certain level of road noise that comes inside this cabin. Apart from that, the sound system will of course keep you busy, will keep that sound in check, and it's a very pleasant cabin to be in. Like I told you, quality is great. Rest of the NVH levels are really well checked. There is no combustion engine, so there's no noise on that aspect, and it's a very calm, serene Volvo to drive. But the moment you floor the throttle, this is one of the most wildest EVs that we've driven, and I think it's going to hold that honor for a really long time, unless we try something truly exotic in the ICE in the electric powertrain comparison. Again, as you can imagine, we are impressed with the Volvo XC40. My conclusion is that the feature list could have been better. The chassis could have been slightly better. It does the job most of the time. It is very comfortable. The price is going to be around something between 60 and 70 lakhs. Should make it good value for money. It depends on what Volvo has to offer at the end of the day. We let you know that, so subscribe to our channel, stay tuned to our website and social media for that. Until then, our first impressions of the Volvo XC40 is really impressive. We can't wait to spend more time with this car, and we definitely recommend this car if you are in a price bracket for an SUV, small SUV with electric powertrain and which is fun to drive, looks unique. This fits all those boxes, and I think Volvo has a winner on its hand. When it came with the S90 all those years ago, it had a winner. Today it has a new winner with the XC40 here in its electric avatar, and we can't wait to see how Volvo takes it forward with its pricing, and how you guys take it ahead with its how do you guys perceive it, and how you guys go ahead and take this car. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share. If you still have some questions, put them in the comment section below. We'll be happy to answer it. Subscribe, follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Until then, goodbye.